What's going on, everybody? It is March the 12th, just after 4 p.m. Eastern here outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'm Sean, and we're going to do a fun little Q&A here today and talk about whatever the hell you guys want. Although I'm going to preface this by saying I have a special guest joining me for this show, and him and I are going to spend a good chunk of the beginning of this episode, maybe even 2/3 of this episode, focusing on Obi-Wan Kenobi and the trailer that has just come out and what's going on just with the state of Star Wars. And if you guys want to switch the topic at any point, just post a question in the chat. This is not a show where we're looking for super chats. If you want to do that, that's great. Helps support the channel. But just send your questions in and we will divert from our conversation for a few minutes, answer your question, and get back to it. Without further ado, though, it's my longtime buddy, Ty, a producer over on Why Is This Doing This to Me Now? 1 second, man. There we go. I thought we lost our background for a second. Longtime producer over on Star Wars Legends Legacy of the Force and The Distant Echo. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. I have a 2-year-old right outside my door causing a bunch of noise. So apologies.
Fantastic.
You guys hear that?
I don't hear it at all. I may have the same issue with a couple of dogs running around, but if that comes up, we'll just figure things out. We'll wing it. How about that?
Sounds like a plan to me.
So, what I haven't. I mean, I caught the trailer and seen some social reactions and everything like that. I don't have like there's this toxic vibe about throughout the fandom that changes. First it was with the prequels, then it goes to the sequels.
Yeah.
And now, it just seems like there's this, and I've segregated myself from that kind of thing. Like if I see it, I'm just like, all right, I'm not interested. I'm really not, So I used to do some stuff inside the industry, the film industry. Of course, you've seen Legacy and seen The Distant Echo. Those were a couple of fan films, but since 2019, I am out of the industry. I'm not doing anything in it or anything like that. So, I mean, my opinion is going to be just my opinion on anything, and it should not sway or have clout. It's just like somebody who's both a fan and had some experience in the industry. So if you want to pop some questions my way, cool. Take it with a grain of salt.
I know. I think you and I have some different feelings on the trailer, which makes for good conversation.
Okay.
I just want to start off by touching a little bit on what you just said. There is I find the toxicity around Star Wars fandom to be kind of amusing at times. I try not to like concern myself with it nearly as much as I used to. It used to bother me a ton. Now it's just like, well, whatever. But I find it kind of ironic that the same people that we were having conversations with back in 2015, and I won't name anybody, but if you said anything negative about those new movies, they were all over you. A bunch of, fairly high level Star Wars content creators. And like, you couldn't say anything. You couldn't even give constructive criticism, I found, without being jumped all over. And now these same people, and it's not like it's a small group, it's a mass majority of the Star Wars content creators, now don't like the way a Grand Inquisitor looks and are now going to hate on it. It's just like, boy, has the page flipped a little bit.
So for me, watching the trailer, when I saw that come up, I was just like, something feels off, right? And of course, there was like, I've seen Rebels, and so I was like, it didn't really, I think, occur to me that it was like, oh, it's because it didn't look like what we saw in Rebels. And then, of course, you go back to Revenge of the Sith and the guys from Utapau. I don't know the race.
Man, I've seen it a bunch on memes in the last few days too. I know what you're talking about. The guy that meets Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith.
Right. So, yeah, it could be my like reference of like, oh, well, that's how the species looked. But for me, like, I know I just read who it was who's playing the guy.
Rupert Friend.
Yeah, Rupert Friend. Like, if he can nail like the character, if he brings something, I don't care.
Right?
I don't care. I don't care how he looks. I mean, this I think between you and me is something that we both do agree in. If the story's there, if the characterization is there, I'm going to be sucked in. If it feels off, is it because of my predilection towards what I've already seen? Maybe I'm looking at it and I'm like, it still feels off. Like, why does it feel off? Like, I think there was some stuff that why is Cad Bane so light blue instead of dark blue? And I don't care.
Right?
I think they did a great job in bringing him in. I wish they would have brought him in early, story-wise. And so, like, I feel that story-wise that there were some missing pieces for that series. For me, if we go on that tangent for a second, so the Book of Boba Fett to me was fan service in its own. It was a season or series if it keeps on going, that didn't need to be made. Of course, we go back and the old Marvel comics brought them back, the old Legend stuff brought them back. There was something else that brought him back too, and I was just like, okay, he's a popular character. Why not bring him back? And to do it, it's like, okay, it's fan service. That whole last couple episodes, especially the last episode, and of course everybody's like, oh, it's actually Mandalorian and saving the show. It's like, I don't know, seeing Boba Fett on top of a Rancor, that was pretty cool to me. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fan service. And so when we move back now into Obi-Wan, I'm like, okay, so they're bringing in these characters. Cool. I don't know. I know that you've got your ear to the ground on a lot of other stuff about who might be making appearances and who may not be. I'm looking forward to possible, other characters making it in. somebody, I think a lot of people are like, with the one in the alley with the shadow and everything like that with the blaster, people are saying, hey, this could possibly be Solo because he was supposed to be going to Tatooine. And I'm like, I'm fine with Solo being there as long as he doesn't interact with Obi-Wan, because they don't meet until New Hope.
Right.
And so, you know, if that's there, I would be more interested in Cassian, possibly Ahsoka. Yeah, I don't know. One of the things that I would, and I think I mentioned this in a chat that you were on the other day, with the whole blue on the armor, it's like, it'd be pretty cool if we saw Rex.
I'd be down for that. And it sounds like Tamora Morrison is a part of the series in some way. We just don't know how yet.
Yeah, well, you would figure that if there's any clones or anything like that, that the flashback, that either they're going to use D. Bradley Baker or they're going to use Tamora for the voice. Which, yeah, either way, yeah, it's good. So I'm excited for the show. The thing that and I think I mentioned this to you the other day. So when I saw the trailer, the first time I saw the trailer, I was at work and I saw it on my phone, and I see the Inquisitor ship going by, and I'm like, that looks a little flat to me. So I was like, ooh, I hope they punch up the VFX budget on this. But of course, you know, getting it on a bigger screen, it's like, oh, you know what? There was a little more depth to it. However, still, it looked a little flat to me. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is like the ship itself, I'm like looking at it, it's like, this will age me, of course. But it looked like Buck Rogers, you know, Starfighter from Buck Rogers in the 25th century or something like that. Basically this
Pole.
Well, and I think it would have, that Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon would have been like during the period where it was black and white and everything. But the stuff that I'm talking about is with pardon me if I butcher his name, but Joe Gerard or something like that. He was the guy who played it in the late 70s, early 80s or something. Anyway, so the ship looked similar to that. I'm just like, okay, all right, sure. Other than that, it was, to me, it was a teaser. There wasn't enough in the teaser to like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going in the story? It's great to see. I'm stoked Ewan's coming back. He was the best part, in my opinion, of the prequels.
Yep.
I'm really excited for Joel Edgerton. He is one of my favorite actors.
Sounds like he has a lot to do.
It sounds like he's got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Great. I mean,
if you're going to pay the price to get him back now, considering what he would have cost for Attack of the Clones, you might want to give him some substance.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't. There's been other things that he's done. Not like, I don't think he's got a lot of notoriety, because still, if I were to say Joel Edgerton, there's not a lot of people out in, you know, my social surroundings that'd be like, so who's he, right? But one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time, and it's like it gets me, like, story wise, is Warrior with him and Tom Hardy.
Yep.
Nick Nolte also had a part of it, and there was like, that movie literally had me inside at the end of it, like, I don't know who I'm supposed to root for. It's one of the only movies that I've seen that by the end I'm like, which one? And I've watched it again with another one of my buddies, and he had picked who he's rooting for, and he's like, bust him up, yeah, like really vocal, and I'm just like, oh wow, you've got a definitive opinion on this, right? So it's just one of it's a top movie that I recommend to people, and something that, you know, if I ever step back into writing or something like that, definitely one of those things that eventually I would want to emulate. But yeah, what about you, man? You said that we had differing opinions on this, so, you know, what are your thoughts?
I'll get to them in 1 second. I just want
Okay.
to read a couple of questions here. First off, Motion Pick says or asked, do you think Halloween Ends will still release in October? Yeah, there's no reason why it wouldn't. There would have to be this catastrophic thing happen in post production. They're absolutely on pace to release in October, and you'll likely see some footage from that movie next month. So be on the lookout for that. And then Wax, am I saying that right? Waxon.
Wax on, wax off news.
Will we find out what made Obi-Wan Kenobi be the crazy wizard Owen said to Luke? This is okay. So before I answer this, how open about spoilers do you want to be? I mean, obviously we know that Owen, Luke, Vader, and Beru and Kenobi all have to live. They're all in A New Hope. But how open do you want me to be about spoilers in this discussion?
I prefer not to get any story spoilers. I want to go into it with I mean, there's knowing certain people are back is as far as spoilers that I would want. When it goes into the story, I've heard that what brings them off planet would be Leia. I'm okay with knowing that. But you know, I'm like, if you have details about story about what might, yeah, yes. Let's save that question for another podcast, because I can wait until May 25th.
All I would say in regards to the super chat here would be that, as I just stated, Joel Edgerton has some substance in the show and has some stuff to do. So I would say that you're going to see I think it comes with the territory where the show is. You're going to see sort of how that Owen and Kenobi relationship evolves and why it goes where it does. So
excited.
Excited
to see Hayden back too, by the way.
I can't wait for Hayden. I know Kieran on the channel can't stand him, but I'm pretty stoked, and it sounds like we're going to see him in many different ways. So,
well, like, I've seen him in other stuff aside from the Star Wars movies, and I know that he can bring some stuff. And you know, I'll be the person who says, you know, when you have someone who's more worried or focused, not worried, more focused on the special effects, the VFX, and everything like that than they are about the story, then you're not going to get the best performance out of someone who, you know, is relatively, I don't want to say new, but definitely doesn't have the chops or the experience that someone like Ewan McGregor has. But when you look at the prequels and you go back and you're like, how did this get so much toxic reviews and everything? And when you had Liam Neeson, Samuel L. Jackson, Natalie Portman, you know, you're talking about all-star studded cast, and you're like not really connecting to or thinking that there's like some good acting happening. You know, it's one of those things that it's like, okay, well, that's not where the focus was. I don't think the focus was on bringing the character out from the actors.
Entertainment Weekly has had a few wonderful articles this week on a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with Kenobi and why it got delayed and why they chose to go a different route, and how the current writer ended up getting the role. Like, he pitched hardcore for it and laid out his ideas. And so while there's certainly some things that are the same that we're going to get with the Kenobi TV series, originally it started off as one movie and then it was going to be 3 standalone movies. It sounds like they diverted course quite a bit from what the original intention was. So
I'm kind of happy that it's gone to this format, because I think, you know, like, there's certain things that's like, okay, you know what, this isn't going to be a movie type story. This should be told in a series. I think there's certain things that have made it out to a movie. I was like, this should have been a series. The Jack Ryan stuff that's currently out on That would have been great back in the heyday, before, because they have to retell the story now because we're not in the Cold War like we used to be. However, politics right now,
Yeah.
who knows we could be going up against the Russians again. Who knows? But what I'm saying is that the series I'm more attached to than some of the stuff that we saw, especially in the later movies, like the Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck and the reboot with Shadow Recruit with Chris Pine. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not attached. Even the second movie with Harrison Ford, I was just like, didn't deliver the same way that Clear and Present Danger did in the novel. Patriot Games did well. Hunt for Red October did well. But and right now I'm going through those books actually. So it's something I'm connected to. I wouldn't mind going back for a second when you were talking about with Halloween Ends and the guy who asked the question had the face mask. And I know that you guys have been like, you haven't been able to go out to theaters. I believe I saw that this weekend Scream dropped on Paramount Plus.
We actually just finished watching it about an hour and a half ago.
Nice. I'm waiting till later on this evening. Did you enjoy it?
There's a lot of people that have knocked it, and I'm not a big Scream fan by any means, but by the end of the movie, I literally said, well, that was easily better than the previous two that came out. So
Sweet.
I ended up liking it quite a bit, which is going to, piss off some of our diehard Halloween fans here, but I thought it was a well put together movie with nostalgia done right. And, there was a story there, and I like that.
I only enjoyed the first one. And I was hoping between like the sequels that they'd come back and do some new flavor, and the way that the reviews had gone, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this one a shot. So I'm stoked for this. I don't have any akin to Halloween or the Friday the 13th or anything like that. So but this one I'm looking forward to.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it too. This is gonna kill any ad revenue we can have for this movie, but I wouldn't mind taking a second here to actually watch the Kenobi trailer again with you here, and
Okay.
And we can just sort of go over it piece by piece. And
I'm checking out the messages real quick, seeing if we need to touch base on any of those real quick.
Oh, sorry. Wax also said, do we even know if James Earl Jones is voicing Vader? So I don't know. So this is me reading in between the lines. They've been so tight-lipped about this. Usually they would just come out with it and say that he is. And I wouldn't be surprised if he still gets credit for it. But between the technology that they used for Luke in the Book of Boba Fett, and that voice, I got to be honest here. I'm leaning towards it's not going to be James Earl Jones. I think, I mean, the man is 91 or 92 years old. He can't do it necessarily how he could 20 or 30 years ago. I know one person pointed out if you listen to his dialogue in Rogue One and in Rebels, there's like no, extra pronunciation on things. Like, so for example, when he's fighting Luke and Obi-Wan, Luke and Empire, he's like, Obi-Wan never told you. Like, there's different tones coming out there. But if you listen to him in Rogue One and Rebels, it's all the same. There's no
Interesting.
And I've never really noticed that before. And like I noticed
didn't either.
you could tell that he sounded different in Rogue One, but I just chalk that up to it. He's a really old man now. So I don't know if they're going for the nostalgia and the gangs back together thing, then I can see him being in it. But if they're looking to do it right, I think there are better ways that they can do it now. But
well, didn't with what was it in the Book of Boba Fett? Didn't they go back and revamp Luke's voice or something like that to make it sound like young Luke?
So yeah, they like Mark Hamill did no dialogue for the Book of Boba Fett at all. It's all pulled from previous things and then run through some sort of new audio processor, and it spits it back out.
I would likely say that because that episode went off so well, they'll probably do that again, especially when they don't have to match anything up with lips.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with Vader, that makes it easier. And James Earl Jones would still get a credit because it'd still be using past dialogue from him to get the right pitches. So
Yeah.
but my guess is if it is James Earl Jones, that's how they're doing it. I can't see them going the Rogue One route again, but we'll have to wait and see.
Somebody else said something about a mask. Yeah.
Yeah, Rampage is a mask artist. Actually, the thumbnail that we put out for this video writes here. The one to the left is a concept of a mask for Halloween Ends that actually matches some concept art out there for the movie. So he did a wonderful job on that. Be sure to check him out, everybody. I think we're gonna have him on the show down the road as well. Nikki asks, when do you think we'll get a teaser trailer for Halloween Ends? If you're talking full length, minute and 30-second teaser trailer, then you're probably looking at June or July, and then the next one will come towards the end of summer. But to my knowledge, we're supposed to get some sort of footage next month in April, so be on the lookout for that. I'm guessing it's going to be like a sizzle reel. I think they've done that for both movies so far, so why not start with there? And in terms of when we'll get a full reveal of the mask, it depends on how confident they are and when they want to show it off. My guess is with the poster.
Somebody else just posted something about The Boys. I haven't seen season 2 yet. Not ready for season 3, so please no spoilers. I haven't even watched the trailer.
I've seen season 1. I need to see season 2 because I know Jensen Ackles is in season 3, and I'm a huge Jensen Ackles fan. Hence my kid being named Jensen. So
there's an animation right now that came out too, and I haven't caught that. So I'm behind. I'll probably start catching up on a lot of the series that I'm behind on probably this fall.
So hang on. All right, okay. So let's give this a watch, and then there's also an Ewan McGregor interview we can watch. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
On your channel.
Oh, look at that.
I didn't notice that the first time.
The fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden.
The key
Buck Rogers
to hunting Jedi.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Is patience. Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi Code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
So I dig this teaser trailer, man, mainly because even with teaser trailers nowadays, I feel like movies just spoil the shit out of everything. And I'll be honest, thanks to a lot of the stuff the Making Star Wars guys have put out over there, I basically know the show at this point. And if you're looking for spoilers, that would be the place to go. Their track record's pretty flawless. I thought it was well put together. I get where, maybe you see some budgetary issues, but in terms of a teaser trailer, I thought it did its job. Could they have showed Obi-Wan, spark up the lightsaber? Great. Yeah, maybe, but then they wouldn't have anything for the next one. And I think that's where the focus will be on the next one. And plus, I said this.
Well, we already know that he and Vader are going to have another fight.
Yeah,
So it sparks
not
up.
keeping that secret. They just came right out and said, "Hey, this is what it's about," and I give them
Right.
some credit for that. So
So yeah, it's not something that I needed, but I think this teaser actually gives us more of the idea. It's like, okay, the initial thought is like he is in a bad place.
yeah,
When we and it doesn't even get to the thing that brings him off world. It shows you would put the guess that the Inquisitors are looking for him explicitly, but it doesn't mean that they're looking for him explicitly. It means that they're looking for Jedi. And so there could be another Jedi or someone who has force powers that they're looking for that we don't know. That's what trailers do to us. That they make us think one thing and lead us the other thing. But the thing that they should be doing is being like, this is the type of show you should be in for, whether if it be like Attack of the Clones was supposed to be like a detective story. And so what is Kenobi? What is the type of story that Kenobi will be telling us? Marvel's done a great facet of doing that with each one of them. The each, like Captain America, it's not like always it's just a superhero movie. It's each one of them has a subgenre that they're trying to do so that it doesn't get stale. And so that's why I think so many people have been like, Marvel's done really good at presenting the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Do you mind if we go through the trailer and do like a start stop? And
yeah, sure, no problem. You just let me know where we're stopping, and
yep,
I'll stop it up.
So I didn't initially. We can keep going, but I didn't initially notice Obi-Wan in the background there on the alpaca or whatever that is.
Yeah. The Opie, I believe it is.
Yes.
So let me just say this though. With what you were just saying, I got to keep my mouth shut on some of that if you don't want me revealing spoilers, because you're bringing up some pretty valid thoughts. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Yes. Please, let's stay spoiler free. I did hear you. Let's pause that. This dialogue, the narration that's going on here. I heard you the other day when you were saying it's like he's talking to somebody about this, and so who's he talking to? I'm curious. So I would hope that it would be someone who says so. It could be Joel, yeah, or Owen, right? Or it could be he's talking to. I think somebody said, "Oh, it could be Cody, right, instead of Rex or something." Yeah, like. Yeah, I think that'd be great to have him bump into one of the clones that like one of the Bad Batch or something like that. Someone who's taken their thing out and they're no longer hunting for him, but there's so that would bring me a little like, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
But I may be wrong. Okay. Pause again. I think, and sorry guys, we keep on going back to another video. Did you say he has a blaster here or something like that? Or
that's further along, but
okay, all right. I was like, okay, all right, sorry.
This part got me choked up a bit.
And so many memes right now about that, like a bantha.
The key.
This was the part that I felt was flat earlier.
Jedi.
It looks better now, so maybe it was just on the phone. I'm fine with him.
I was gonna say I understand that people want it to be exact. Let me actually pull this up for a second. I didn't get a chance to earlier, and I know people are going to be like, "Well, look at the prosthetics that they used on Colin Farrell for Penguin." It's like, yeah, but he didn't have a lot of action. And depending on your, how much prosthetics you have on, it can really, hamper how much action you may or may not be.
Well, that's why they changed Ahsoka, right?
Look, yeah, exactly. And a lot of people just dismiss that, but look at the head shape difference. Bruce Spence to the left is who played the character in Revenge of the Sith. And everyone keeps pointing out it should look like that. And this is Rupert Friend.
Yeah.
Like they're not even close to the same head shape.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it. There's prosthetics, but if you don't think
and they're
the fellow on the left's head shape helped the look a bit, I don't know what to say to you because it definitely did.
yeah. I'm fine with it. Let's see how it comes across, how his character comes across, and then if you guys want to complain because it doesn't come across well, which I doubt, because Rupert Friend is fucking awesome. Pardon the F-bomb. But we'll see.
Exactly.
Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion.
Okay, pause. Go back for a second. All I want to do is, at that point, is go like Luke's boots, because you know that's Luke right there.
Wait, right here?
Yeah, that's Luke. The boots right there, that's Luke.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Passion leaves a trail. The Jedi Code is like an itch.
I like the look of this planet here that they're on.
Yeah.
Narshada. I know it's not.
Right. There's a part that's coming up when you're about to see the Inquisitor and the guy who's coming up to who's bald. I'm curious to who. Oh, I'm also enjoying this new robot, by the way. I think it's a good look, and it stays true to the Star Wars feel. I think. Yeah.
Classic stormtrooper in front of him.
And it's almost like the Imperial, what is it, K2SO. It has that feel of K2SO, but not quite. So, and I mentioned before on this one, whether if we were seeing blue on the Stormtrooper and I was like, could that be the blue clone? And but then somebody was like, no, it's probably just the lighting. I'm like, all right, fine. But it got me excited.
Where is he?
There, that guy. Oh, I didn't notice that he had something in the back of his neck. It's almost like
implants. Makes me wonder if it's I doubt it is, but it makes me wonder if it could be is Echo the one that's all sliced up and diced up?
Yeah.
Has all the like cybernetic parts.
Yeah, that would be cool. If that's Tamira Morrison with Echo's implants and stuff. It's a possibility.
Like, I just love the look of that. To me, Star Wars has missed this for quite some time.
Well, we saw something similar to this when we went into the underground area in Attack of the Clones on Coruscant. And to me, what this represents is a not as dirty feel of a Blade Runner-esque type. And I think the director or something said that it's supposed to remind us of Hong Kong or China or something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I like them putting that kind of work into like giving us a feel of another planet. So yeah, I'm yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, that's the good words. Did you freeze?
No.
Okay. I'm curious as who that guy was too.
So I know people think this is Han.
I want to say no.
I'm not entirely sure who this is, but that right there, and it's a different gun if you look, is Obi-Wan.
That's the guy with the blaster?
Yeah, that's
when you said he had a blaster? Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely Ewan McGregor up there.
So the birds, I'm curious as to. Oh, you know what? Okay, because it's just such a predominant, thing inside this trailer. It's like, okay, what's going on? Like, it's a cute shot, but it could have been the same crate he was hiding behind, and that's where the birds were, and the birds are fleeing out. But to me, it just like it didn't have the context, and so I'm wondering whether because again in Revenge of the Sith, he gets on the lizard thing and everything. I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's got like they're trying to bring another type Porg or Ewok into the thing, and it's these birds. So I don't know. Yeah, to me, I was like, this is a shot they could have left out of the trailer.
Yeah, it wasn't the world's greatest shot by any means. And then, I mean, they ended with just a simple look at him. But you said it earlier. We get the Vader voice, obviously, or the breathing.
Yeah.
You said it earlier, just focusing on Kenobi and his story arc. He starts in a very bad place here, and like again, there were some other notable content creators that have been going on for the last few months about how they don't want to see depressed and down Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I just like thought to myself, like, okay, so the dude's a human being, and you need to seriously think about everything he lost during the Clone Wars, and then at the end of the Clone Wars, which is Revenge of the Sith. Like, he literally lost everything. And when you begin this show, you're going to go on a journey with him, and like, you're going to get that. I'm sorry. Like, you can't do this show properly and not follow Obi-Wan along his journey because it's about him. So,
Yeah. In fact, that's so there's a particular type of movie or show that I don't like to see, which would be something like The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston. Another one would be like Look Who's Talking To, again, dating me. But these are like literally throughout the whole movie, people are yelling at each other, and I don't care for that type of movie. So I can see if somebody is like, I don't want to see depressed or anything like that. I would. Here's the thing: from the interviews that I have seen, or the context that's been put behind it, Ewan has been one of the driving forces behind this series, wanting to bring back Obi-Wan again. And so, whatever the case is, I think he might be one of the people that is okay. He has to sign off on what the story or where the story is going,
he absolutely was in that position, that I can confirm.
and so I would say that with the stature of where Ewan is, and how the choices that he makes of what stories he gets involved in, I think that this will be, like, if he had any say so in this, that then I'm looking forward to what the story has to say. So, even if we are like in the first two episodes, he's struggling with like his failures and everything. I think that they'll be balanced off enough to be like to not let us leave, and it's like, oh well, that was just a depressing 50 minutes and watching somebody mope around, and
As someone who knows where most of this is going, I really can't wait for people to just experience the show. I can't wait to experience the show, even part of the path. It's something I've wanted for such a long time, and it is a limited series. People are right when they say that. So the likelihood of getting like a direct season 2 to this is basically none. However, like, they made sure to reiterate, even in the Entertainment Weekly stuff, that the door is not closed on you and coming back and doing more, just because they truly believe they have a big hit on their hands here. And as long as the visuals and the complete filmmaking process lives up to a lot of the story that I've heard, I do think it's going to be a really big hit. So
there's like seeing again the book of Boba Fett. I was like, it's fan service, and Obi-Wan is a bit of fan service as well too, because literally we could have gone from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope. um I guess you can include Solo and Rogue One in there, but the story of Obi-Wan, we could pick back up and be like, okay, we're good, right? I enjoy the seeing like the transition and the aging. I definitely would be fine with seeing them fight again and get have more context of um the dialogue from A New Hope to be like, okay, this also the transition of while we call him Obi-Wan Kenobi here, he should be going by Ben.
As far as I know, I think he's going to go by Ben for most of the show. I wouldn't be shocked if the only time we hear the name Obi-Wan comes from Vader's voice.
Or somebody else.
I guess the Inquisitors would probably know him by that name too. So,
or any of the clones if he bumps into any of them, or General Kenobi. So, yeah. I'm excited for what's coming. I do enjoy the Disney Plus stuff. Even going back to Mandalorian, when I touched base with you after seeing season 1 of that, I was like, okay, I know that people are on the hype train, and there's very much like, for me, it was about nostalgia. I didn't feel like the series was really going anywhere as of yet. I enjoyed how season 2 ended. It's yeah. For me, there's a lot of nostalgia. I'm enjoying what Favreau and Filoni are doing. I've enjoyed the Bad Batch, and again, this is just coming in. Like, I'm a fan, and I have, my biases when it comes to story as a previous filmmaker, someone who looks towards that. But other than that, man, for me, I've already mentioned, so, like, this dates me and everything, but I grew up. I've seen, the original trilogy in theaters, right? So that's where I come from, and so that's the kid part of me, that I will always be like, okay, that just brings out my childhood, and I have a connection to this because I'm a fan of that being part of my childhood. And if somebody is like, well, they've ruined this for me, it's like, you know what, that's your own choice. If you want to have it ruined, that's your choice. And but if you want to hold on to, like, you know what, I still love the what it brings me, then cool. That's how I am. And if it comes to a point where something changes and it becomes something where it's like, okay, I'm just going to disassociate myself with it, yeah, I'll be like, well, I have all this other stuff. I don't need to watch what's new. I've enjoyed what I grew up on. And so if you want something different, go out and make your own film. Go out and make your own series. And does it have to be Star Wars? I don't know. This new thing with Ryan Reynolds that's coming out, and the Adam Project has a bit of Star Wars flair to it, and maybe it's like, well, you know what? I'm never going to be in a Star Wars film, but I'm making something similar. That's my film. Go, Ryan Reynolds. Enjoy.
Totally agree.
What?
No, go ahead.
I was bouncing back down to the chat. I know we're running out of time. So seeing if there's anything that else pertains. Sorry, all the Halloween fans, if I've jumped too much on the Star Wars wagon. I'm not into Halloween, so that's all Sage. And curious if Maul will appear.
I'll answer a couple of these questions really quickly. Either tomorrow or Monday, Saturn. Tomorrow or Monday, and then obviously for our Patreon subscribers, and the Patreon link is at the bottom there, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. We have a pretty big Halloween end stream tomorrow night where we're going to talk about 2 of the 3 endings that were filmed for the movie that we know of anyways. Again, it's all rumor. Don't take any of it, as, ironclad, but we think it's pretty accurate, and we're going to discuss that tomorrow night. And yeah, Liam, I understand. That's awesome, man. Appreciate the support. Do you think Maul will appear? I personally, I don't know if he does or not. I'll say that right now, but I can't see him appearing. I would think that
I wouldn't want him to
already.
Yeah, I loved his end in Rebels. Just how that was. In fact, I watched a video of that, like, of how that ended. Obi-Wan knowing that the moves that Maul was using is how he took out Qui-Gon, and he like ended it so quick. I was just like, yeah, that was great. There's a rumor that they're doing a Maul series. Maybe it's animated or something like that.
Yeah.
That, again, I think that would be fan service, but I'm okay to see where, because we got that little teaser from Solo with Maul at the end, and I'd like to see where that goes. And I'm not picking up the comic, so I don't know where that goes. I'm a fan of the actress who played Kira. I can't remember her name right now, for crying out loud.
It's Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So if she makes it back into something, cool. Let's see where that goes. And yeah.
I'd be okay with it. I like Sam Witwer and everything he does, and it does sound like that is going to be a thing. And my guess is, if you look really closely at the Star Wars Celebration poster,
yeah,
you get an idea where the content is coming, and the content is coming from Vader and Kenobi and Darth Maul and the Mandalorian, and I believe the last one's Luke. So look out for that. Anyways, though, guys, we got to wrap this up. Again, we have another Halloween Ends update video coming out either tomorrow or Monday. Definitely be out by then. And then for Patreon subscribers, Lampkin Lane tomorrow night. It's a big one. The ending of Halloween Ends. Ty, thanks for doing this, man. Can't wait till we have more Obi-Wan to talk about.
Yeah, it's good touching base with you. Give my love to the fam. Catch you guys later. Thanks everybody who's in the chat.
All right. Have a good night, dude.
Yep, you too.